Yeah, welcome to Econometrics by Richard. Um, Thank you for listening and subscribing. And also, if you're not subscribed to our page, you're new here, please try and subscribe. Okay, this we've done how to import data. We've done how to check for unit true tests. I've also shown you different no, we're not going to be using only views. We'll also use R, we'll also use MATLAB, we'll also do Python. So I've actually shown you this, how to use this, how the different interface in these different tools work. So today now I will expose you on how to draw charts, graphs in your EViews. Most times in report writing, they have what they call stylized facts, both in your reports, report writing, your thesis, or your article writing. You're supposed to have what they call report. So I'm going to show you how to draw these reports, how to draw these graphs in EViews, and also how to have two or three graphs, how to adjust the dates. For example, we know we have data sets from 2014 down to 2024. You want to look at pre-COVID era and post-COVID era, how your variables behave. You can do that with EViews. Okay, for example, we've looked at FDI. So you just go to view, like for example, you've done the unit root of FDI. Let's still use FDI. So you click on view, then you click on graph. It's just a simple click. You see basic type, lines and chart. You can do any other chart, but most times in economics, we normally like using simple graph. Graph tells us the whole story, looking at the trend, your normal demand and supply curve. It's just a line graph. Your ISLM curves, they're all line graphs. So we simply love using just line graphs to explain ourselves. So if you click on it, you can see how your FDI is moving. So as I've rightly said, you can actually adjust your dates just with the column down here. You can actually adjust your date to have different kind of graphs that you want. Even here, you can click here to adjust your date. Okay, for example, we want to look at 20s. This is the full graph. This is the full sample period. We want to look at 2014 down to 2019 when the COVID-19 crisis started. So now it's showing me 2021, 2024. So I'm targeting, you just hold the cursor and move it to 2019 Q4. You see how FDI moved. You see that FDI started very high in 2014 and it started dropping. Nigerian data, our direct investment started dropping until 2019, it started falling. You see the movement of FDI. So this is before COVID. And then you can also look after COVID. You can just move here and move it to 20. Let's believe that COVID stopped in 2020 Q4. Uh-huh. 2020 Q4. You can see how FDI has been moving since when COVID stopped. It's still looking at it, you still see that FDI declining has been declining slowly, so it's downward sloping. Our direct investment have not yet gotten to where it was after 2021 Q1. Our FDI has not gotten to where it was, so it seems that FDI is still dropping despite the revival from the COVID. So from here, you can tell your story that before COVID, our FDI was, I think even when before COVID, our FDI was high and started declining before COVID, and after COVID, it kept on declining because maybe the countries they don't have confidence. Yes, they don't have confidence in investing in Nigeria. Okay, so if you look at the full picture, you can see that there's the level where FDI was in 2014, and here you can see it has not gotten to where FDI in 2024 Q3. I'm looking at the peak. You can see when we look at the peak in 2014 and the peak, and you see If you compare it year to year, there's quarter to quarter, 2024 and 2014, you see that there's actually a huge decline. There's actually a decline. We've not gotten to that, which means FDI has been decreasing since 2014, which is actually not good for Nigeria. Um, so this is how to explain, in case you're asked to explain. Yeah, okay, we can also look at FPI. FPI, which is another, okay, FPI is another form of investment in Nigeria. We can look at the graph. When we look at it, you have the same line and same graph. Looking at it, you can see it's telling us a different story. FPI is telling us the foreign portfolio investment. That is investors that don't invest in fiscal goods, that invest in instruments. If you look at it, you can see it's telling us a different story from 2014. Okay, let's still do the same thing we did. Looking at it pre-COVID, how was FPI pre-COVID? That is, we looked at the 2019 Q4, right? I don't know. I think, yeah, FPI. You can see before COVID, there was a time FPI increased in 2019 Q1. So my idea is that COVID started from 2019 Q4 down to, so 2019 Q1 we hit a very huge. There was a huge foreign portfolio investment inflows into Nigeria. You can see we're hitting about this point, and then later it's 2019 Q4 it really dropped because of the COVID. Even the announcement effects of the COVID from other countries made COVID to really, really decline. So that is for FPI. Okay, that is before COVID. Okay, we can look after COVID. Let's see what the story is telling us after COVID. Let's say 2020 Q4. You can see it's actually increases, doing better compared to when we were in COVID. You can see there's actually a good survivor part. FPI has been on the increase. If you look at FPI here, 2024 Q4 with about this point and to when COVID started. So when you compare it, yeah, quarter to quarter, in that particular year, sorry, you can see that COVID has been on the increase and FPI has been on the foreign portfolio investment has been on the increase, which is actually a good thing for the country. But when we have an increase in FPIs and our foreign direct investments are actually not increasing, it's actually not really, really, I won't say it's actually not really, really fantastic, because foreign direct investments is what actually uh, boosts our reserves, and it's boosts our reserve like sustainably, and it drives growth sustainably. FPI, the issue with FPI is that if there's any shock in the economy, for example, what we saw in COVID-19, if there's any other shock in the economy, you see we have capital flights from FPI. So if most of our investments on FPI, when there's a shock, there will be a lot of capital flight, and it will actually definitely affect our reserve. So that's the issue we are drawing from this slide. So looking at it in full, you can see that though the FPI has not really gotten to where it was at this point, looking at the time frame 2014, that's 2019 Q1, we've actually not gotten at this point. But with due time, with the way it's going, and with the way, uh, though this is just 2024, we are not, this is not data for 2025. I know if we have data for 2025, it's actually more fantastic to look at it, because now this one is 2025. I know currently we might be hitting this point in 2025 data sets. So this is actually 2024. This is just for demo, it's for demonstration. So, but if I have the current data set, maybe in my next session I will try to use more current, maybe monthly data set, so that we can be able to tell more of analysis that is common, so that we'll not get to throw more light more backwards. You get me? So it would be much more fantastic to use those kind of data sets. But this is just the way to draw a graph in EViews. So you can actually, the beauty of it is that you can actually draw two graphs. Let's look at FDIs and FPI. You can open them as, if you click the two graph, you have to open them as a group. Where you open them, you still use your view, and then you still graph them. Yeah, especially when two of them, both of them are actually in volumes. You can see how FPI and FDI is moving. Okay, for example, let me check something too. Let me see. Let me see their spreadsheet. Okay, looking at the variables together, you see that both of them are actually in volumes. None of them are in rates. None of them are in rates. Yeah, none of them are actually in rates. Okay. Um, uh, none of them are in rates. So both of them are actually in the same. In the same. I wanted to. I wanted to show you how to put them in different angles, putting one in the x-axis and putting one in the y-axis, how it will look like, how it's going to look like. But looking at it, I saw that both of them are actually not in. They are not in. They are not. You can look at go to axis and scaling. You can be able to choose FPI to the right side, and FDI. You change it. You can change the FDI. If you change FPI to the FPI, you put it on the left side, and then you put one on the right side. Put FPI on the right side, put it on the right side. So when you click them, you can see it's giving you a different, in Excel sheets, you can do that, putting one variable on there, like for example, FDI is on the right side, FPI is on the right side, FDI is on the right side, for you to have different view on how the data set is going. Because I saw that it was looking as if FPI was just a straight line, just because one has more volume than the other. So I wanted to place both of them and see, and you can still see that FPI was still higher than FDI. FPI is still higher than FDI in volumes. You can see, or FDI is decreasing while FPI is increasing. So with this, you can actually see that both of them actually have an inverse relationship when it comes to moving up. They are not mirroring themselves. Though if it looks as if they are mirroring themselves, maybe this period. Okay, this period, it looks as if, but um, well, they might be mirroring themselves, but one has more volume than the other. But currently, I see them at the last edge. I see them not following the same route. That was why I was made my emphasis. But looking at the field to look as if both of them always obey the same economic structure. 2019 Q1, there was actually an increase in both FDIs and FPIs, but FDIs is in little margin, while FPIs in more margin. So with all this, you can use it to draw your graphs. You can use it to get your graphs, tell your stories. So this is from 2016 down. Let's say after COVID. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is after COVID. You see what it is after how what the variable is saying after COVID. You see, if FPI is trying to increase more, but FDI is declining. So, and that is actually, it's not really good for the economy for sustainable growth. We need to do something in order to increase our FDI, at least to follow the path of the FPI. So I think we'll stop here. I think we'll just do this and do some practice at home with your own EViews and see if you can get the same results. If you need the data set, you can contact me for the data set. Please subscribe to this channel, comment if you have any questions, and like our posts. Thank you and remain blessed.